I saw the infidel recently trying to berate me because I spoke certain truths about what happening at ABS. Yeah, and I made the point that we need to upskill our people, including those at ABS, so we don't have to continue to bring in people. I also said during the interview that, if we have an option to employ an Antiguan with lesser skill or skills than
Antigua breaking news.
Let's say someone from CARICOM, of course we go for the Antiguan. But when the person has significantly less skills and may not be able to, perform at a level creditably enough, to at least maintain the level of institution, then clearly we can't level down the institution. And what I say here doesn't apply to ABS only, but to all institutions throughout the government. And I would have said too that we have a number of creditable workers at ABS who have performed well and throughout the country. So I'm not treating everybody with a broad brush. And I was looking at Garfield Burford as an example of someone who came here to supplement our operations and someone who has been exceptional in his performance. And I think ought to be celebrated for his performance.
Quite agree.
So, as I said to them, I always took the position that, I'm not going to fool the people in order to preserve myself in power. And I'm not going to dodge the hard developmental issues either in order to maintain power, because ultimately we'll not grow and develop. And even if I am punished politically for speaking the truth and to point out the weaknesses within the system in which we have to upskill, and I would have made the point too that we have placed, or let's say established institutions, the university. We spent $20 million to upgrade our technical and vocational facility and to make it an international program. And having made all those investments, even the scholarships that we give, up to $30 million annually in cash we put in people's pockets to upskill. And if our people fail to upskill, then you can't fault the government, because at least the government has put the institutions in place, the institutional arrangements. In the past, I'll accept that they were institutional weaknesses, and therefore you had this skills gap, and that is why we were not as competitive, and that is why we had to rely on external expertise. And this is not only my administration. You look at the various administrations, going right down to severe, even under Sir George Walter. You had a situation in which we had CARICOM nationals and other nationals. We call the UPP brought in some Canadian Mounties at one point. I don't know if that was necessary, because I felt that we had police officers, who had the skills to perform. So that was a clear case of discrimination against local expertise. And when you look at what has happened now in our tenure for the last 9 years, we have utilized the same local experts, and they have performed just as good as any other group of law enforcement officers within the region, or even extra-regionally. So you can see again where we have shown confidence in our own, and the comparison, compared to the UPP 10-year period, you would have seen where they have discriminated against them. There's no such situation of discrimination in our case. But we do accept that we need to upskill our people. We need to ensure that whenever these vacancies arise, that we have Antiguans and Barbudans who can fill, the various positions in the various sectors. And there's nothing derogatory about what I said, but the infidel was trying to tell him, you don't see that he's berating you all, and he doesn't care about you all, and he loves foreigners. Now, I know that most people who would have listened to him would recognize that, that is what they call a cheap political spin. And what I find he's trying to do is to level down the discourse in this country. And I'm at the stage now that, I really can't be bothered with them, but I just thought I'll respond to that one specifically, and we're going to come back to CARICOM, so that people could be aware. Because you see, when they put these, let's say, false interpretations and false information in the public domain, what they're trying to do is to create some level of grievance within the society or within a particular entity, in this case ABS, so they can exploit it for political gain. And it's not that they believe what they're saying, But the irony about it is that you have people who may be opposed to us, or even some unsuspecting people who would believe. So they have a cadre of supporters, no matter how big the lie. They just want to hear something negative about the Labour Party, something negative about Gaston Browne, and they will hold on to it, and they too will peddle it. And they understand that. So they're exploiting that type of blind loyalty of the supporters, and also the unsuspecting who may not stop to think about the credibility of what they say, but
This is Antigua Breaking News.